I ate a whole cake last week. So I guess we're starting with things that don't work. If you missed my video from the weekend, I have been in a place where I am feeling just completely frozen and stuck, and I don't know how to move forward in my career mostly, but I just everything feels really hard and heavy and I don't know where to go. So I spent a lot of time thinking about things that I've been doing that are not helping me, that are not serving me, but tend to be defaults when we get in a place like this. And also thinking about ways that I can snap out of this, break through, and begin to move forward. So, today we are going to talk about 5 things that do not serve you when you are in this headspace, and 5 things that you could try to see if they help you come unstuck and help you to move forward. So, we're going to start right off with eating your feelings does not help. I don't talk a lot about like food and weight and things on this channel because I know that those things are very triggering for people. So it's a gamble to open with something like that because some people are going to be tempted to click away. But I promise we're not going to stay here very long, so I hope you will stick with me. I ate a cake, like a whole cake. I baked a funfetti cake with the orange Halloween frosting and sprinkles, and it was lovely. And I ate the entire thing by myself over the course of like 3 days. So for 3 days, I just shoved sugar and frosting in my face, in addition to all the Halloween candy that we keep bringing into this house. We don't get trick-or-treaters where I live, so every year when we buy Halloween candy, we know it's for us. There are no children who are getting this candy. So that has not made me feel better. In fact, it made me feel pretty sick to my stomach. So I don't recommend eating your feelings because while that sugar is going to taste good in the moment, it could very well make you physically ill if you overdo it, which tends to happen when we are in an emotional state. So, don't recommend that. Conversely, one thing that I do recommend is making lists. If you are here, I assume you are a planner or at the very least a stationery lover. So, we can all rally around the idea of making lists. The first spark of joy that I have felt in a long time actually happened this weekend after I filmed that video Saturday. My husband and I, just out of nowhere, sat down and decided to list our top 10 favorite bands. That is a very difficult thing to do, let me tell you. And I'm still not sure that my list is set in stone. I know for sure my top 5, but the next 5 get a little dicey. And as you start thinking through things, it's like, oh, well, what about this band? And how do you deal with nostalgia bands? And it was fun to make the list. In fact, it was so much fun that when we were finished with that, I grabbed my notebook and I made lists of things I could do to move forward. And one of the rules that I put on myself for making this list was to not think about it. No decision making, no hemming and hawing, no worrying about the outcome, just a brain dump of things that I could do, anything, to move forward in my career buckets at all. And it helped. It gave me. So, one of the things I talked about in Saturday's video was last week I couldn't even decide what book to promote from my backlist, so I didn't promote anything. So, one of the things that I did was I just picked 3 books. That was it. I just listed 3 books. Those are the books I'm going to promote over the next 3 weeks. No second guessing, no changing my mind. Those are the 3 books. Yes, I still have to make graphics and pull quotes, but I know what books they are, and that takes a decision off my plate because I can't overthink it. The decision is made, and it is not going to change. So, making lists just, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a dopamine response. I don't know if it's just the love of pen to paper. I don't know what it is, but making a list of any kind is just a great way, I guess, because you're achieving something. Even if it's something silly like your top 10 bands or your favorite movies or whatever, when you're done, you have completed something. And whether it moves a needle in your life or in your career or whatever, it doesn't matter. You've done something, and that builds momentum. So, highly recommend making lists. The second thing that doesn't work is wallowing in your despair. And look, we all love a pity party. God knows I threw myself one on the internet on Saturday. Because sometimes talking through things can help. But that is actually an action. Talking about it was a step, even though I didn't realize it at the time. It's when you sit on the couch, wrapped in your blanket, shoving candy in your face, and you don't want to get better. You don't want the situation to improve. You want to just sit in your wrongness and be wrong, right? It doesn't serve you. And it's like how a mess breeds more mess. If you put a shirt in a chair, in a few days, that chair is going to be a laundry pile, and it wouldn't have been there if you hadn't let the first shirt fall, right? So wallowing does not serve you. Feel your emotions, accept them, but try to work through them. Don't allow them to take over for too long. We're all going to have moments of stuckness, of sadness, of grief, of, maybe not clinical depression, but of depressive episodes. It's going to happen, and you have to acknowledge and accept those feelings. But you have to do your best to not allow yourself to stay there longer than necessary. One thing that is going to help when you are in this state is a reset. And it doesn't have to be a huge reset. I'm talking make changes to your environment that are logical and helpful. It could be just clearing clutter from your line of sight. Move it, hide it. I don't care. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to clean it up, but it gives your brain a break to not see piles and piles of stuff in front of you. For me, I don't know if you guys remember, but I use my big board as like a giant to-do list, and I will list out all of my tasks for the quarter. Most of the time, this is very motivating for me. But when I am in decision paralysis and I have all these options of all this stuff that has to get done, I don't know where to start, and it becomes overwhelming. So I took it all down and I reset my board, and I put up images that make me happy. The dog, I don't know if you can see like the dust flying around. The dog just shook, like, I don't know if he's shedding so bad, and there's just fluff everywhere. Thanks a lot, Hawk. What was I talking about? Oh, so I scrapped my entire quarterly plan. I took all the Post-it notes down and I threw them away. I didn't even keep them to put them up later because I needed them gone, because it was no longer a source of motivation. It was just a source of stress. So when I was making the decisions, when I was making my lists, I only took the things that I can and want to accomplish in October, and I shrunk everything down and I put it on the board interspersed with photos of things that make me happy. My favorite bands and cute fall photos, and just, there's a picture of Hawk up there. And now when I walk into my office, the board is no longer a source of stress for me. It is just something that I want to look at, not something that I want to put blinders on and ignore, right? So this can work with like a messy desk, or the side table that is so covered with unopened mail that you can't even set your coffee cup down. It can work with a goal board. Some small reset in your environment, in your your visual environment, that will calm the noise in your head is going to help. When I was first thinking about doing this video, I was concerned that rattling off things that would help you get unstuck would feel disingenuous because I didn't know how to get unstuck. But actually doing these things and stopping the things that were not serving me have helped. They really have. And I can't promise they're going to work for you, but you're never going to know if you don't try. So if some of these seem dumb or weird or whatever, I'm sorry, but all I can tell you are the things that work for me. And I cannot promise they will work for you, but I can promise they will not work for you if you don't even try. So try a visual area reset of the space where you spend the most time, and just see if it helps calm your brain down. And speaking of visual, another thing that does not help is doom scrolling. I understand that the world is a dumpster fire, but the internet is a cesspool. And I'm not going to harp on this for too long because I kind of went into it on Saturday's video. but the algorithms are designed to keep you off balance and upset so that you will get stuck in a scroll spiral. They want you on the app, and they are purposely showing you things that upset you. So doom scrolling is never, ever, ever going to help you feel better. If you have the perfect algorithm of cinnamon rolls and puppies, you do you. But I guarantee that at some point in scrolling, you're going to get videos that upset you. You are going to get videos that are outside the niche of what you want to see because they want you upset. So doom scrolling, never going to help. But what can help is distractions. Reread your favorite book. Watch your favorite comfort show. Lean into the cozy. Lean into the things that bring you joy and allow yourself to enjoy them and to rest while you're doing it. Time spent doing things that you love will never be time wasted. I feel like I should embroider that on a pillow. Making time for the things that bring you joy is not only good, it is necessary. We have to find the things in our lives that make us happy. The outside world is never going to be what makes us happy. Only we can do the things that make us happy. So lean into that energy. When the urge to get on your phone and check the news or check sports scores or whatever hits you, open Netflix instead and rewatch Bridgerton. Pick up the book you were obsessed with in high school and fall back in love with those characters. Allow yourself to lean into the things that bring you joy, especially the small things, because the small things are the best things. Another thing that is never going to work is waiting for motivation to hit you. Waiting for motivation is never going to get you off your ass. It's just not. It is very rare, especially if you have a chronic illness, if you have ADHD, if you deal with chronic pain. Motivation is a bitch, and she's never going to help you. Sometimes you just have to move and trust that momentum will do for you what motivation can't, which is to keep you moving forward. And the best thing you can do for yourself in this area is to take micro actions. Find one small, tiny thing that you know you can do, that you know you can finish, and do that one tiny thing. I was thinking today that I never have to find motivation to refill the Brita water pitcher. I never have to find motivation to get the coffee set up for the next morning. And yeah, part of that is that they're habits, sure, but I think it's more that they are just teeny tiny wins. They are small things that I know don't take any effort on my part, but give me a completed task when I'm done. They aren't difficult. They aren't time consuming. I can just do them and be done. So I do them. So I encourage you to find those micro actions for yourself. Pick your shoes up off the floor and put them on the shoe rack. Pick up the dog's toys. Do something tiny that you can physically, emotionally, and mentally start and finish in under 60 seconds. Because again, that's going to give you momentum to keep going. That can be a single step forward. And once that is done, you have accomplished something. And accomplishing things just makes you feel better. It just does. So waiting for motivation is probably never going to work, but taking micro actions can. And number 5 is kind of a cheat, because what works and what doesn't work is the same thing, and that's shopping. Listen, there is no dopamine hit greater to an ADHD gremlin than spending money. It's a universal truth, and we all hate it, but there's no denying it. We do, in the moment, feel better when we one click, when we swipe a card, when we hand over that cash. There is a dopamine hit from buying new things. But we must be intentional and we must be careful, because the term retail therapy exists for a reason. So if you are so mired in emotional whatever that you have to go to Michael's, go to Michael's. but try to go with a plan. We don't want to just impulse buy, right? If we must shop, it would be so much better for us if we could stick to things we legitimately need, or at the very least, honest to God wants. Things that have been heavy on our heart, things that we've wanted it and wanted it and wanted it and not allowed ourselves to get it for whatever reason. If we're at a point where only shopping is going to fix it, you want to go for the things that are going to serve your life. So for me, I went out the other day. I wanted to get some Halloween decorations for back here. I was too late. All the Christmas shit is out, so I didn't really find anything that I wanted, which was a bummer. But I ended up in a couple different stores, and when I ended up in, I think it was Marshall's, I always go to the kitchen section because it's my favorite section. And I legitimately needed new wooden utensils, and I legitimately needed new wool dryer balls. Not exciting, but I got to buy myself something. And then as I was walking out, I found this cup, and it was on clearance. And I said, you know what? Impulse purchase away. It was inexpensive. I wanted it, so I bought it. And it made me happy. And when I got home, I dropped and broke the cup that I had taken with me. So the universe wanted me to have this cup, and they wanted me to feel better about buying it by making me break one of my other cups. So now I don't have an additional cup. It was a replacement. Look, all of that to say this. Sometimes we are going to shop. We just are. And we have to find a way to stick to needs and legitimate wants as much as possible. And barring that, we have to forgive ourselves for the way our gremlins behave. It's going to happen. And like I said, it both works and doesn't work, because sometimes you're going to buy it and be happy and walk out with your bags and you're super chuffed, and then you get home and you're like, what did I just do? And then you start to feel bad again. But sometimes you don't. And that's just the way our brains work. And there's no right or wrong answer to it. So if you just, it works and it doesn't work. I don't know what else to say. So there we go. 5 things that work and 5 things that don't, kind of, you know what I mean. When you are feeling just stuck and don't know how to move forward. These aren't going to work for everybody. And there's no judgment if you feel that you need to do the things that I say don't work. It's your life, and you are free to do and behave in whatever way works for you. But I don't think I'm wrong. I think the things that I offered you that don't work are things that are not going to serve you in the long run. But you do you. You're an adult. You can make your own decisions. This is just what works and doesn't work for me. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm just me. So I hope that you got something useful out of this video. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me today. And I hope that you will like and comment and hit all the YouTube buttons for me. And leave me a comment below and let me know how you're doing. I am doing much better today than I was on Saturday. And it's because of some of the things that I did from what I offered you. Changing some things in my environment and allowing myself reasonable treats and, just micro actions and making lists. And these are things that help me. They are things that did and are helping me. So I wanted to offer them to you in case they would help you too. So I'm doing much better. I do want to thank everyone for just the outpouring of support and advice and love that I got on that video, because that was a very tough video. It was very vulnerable, and I knew my community was going to be there for me, just like I'm always there for you. So I hope that you enjoyed spending time with me today, and I will see you next time. I love you so much. Bye.